Namaste everyone, my name is Jitendra Pant and this particular video is about how to apply for a J1 waiver. But before you apply for a J1 waiver, please confirm whether you are subjected to 212E rule or to your home residency rule. You are most likely to be subjected to 212E rule if you have been funded either by the government of your home country or by the government of United States, or if you are a physician or a doctor, or if you have certain skill sets which makes you fall under 212E rule. But even after that, you should still confirm whether you are subjected to 212E rule by looking at your J1 document and reading here. Here it would say the exchange visitor is subjected to 212E rule or not subjected to 212E rule. And along with this document, you have to also look into your passport whether it says you are subjected to 212E rule or not subjected to 212E rule. One thing that you have to notice here is if any of these two documents, which is your passport or your J1 waiver document or your J1 visa document, says that you are subjected to 212E, it means you are subjected to 212E. Both of them does not necessarily need to say it. Any one is enough for you to fall under 212E requirement. So after you have confirmed that you fall under 212E rule or to your home residency rule, what you need to do, let me tell you step by step. First thing first, you open the Consulate General of India website, the Indian Embassy website, and there you will find three important documents. One of these documents is called miscellaneous form, another one is called biodata, and third one is called affidavit. Download them, fill them out, and then make 4 copies of these documents. Take all these 4 copies to a notary officer, which you can find in one of the nationalized bank or a private bank. You can find them in USPS or UPS. They will help you to get these documents notarized. After you have notarized these documents, take another supporting documents, which are your passport. Also take the photocopy of first page of your passport, last page of your passport, and the page which has your visa information on it. Along with your passport and its copies, you have to take your J1 document or DS2019, original and photocopy. Besides these documents, you have to also take a proof of residence, which is your driver's license or the state ID card or a water bill or an electricity bill or a bond that you have signed with your leasing office. Take any one of these documents as the proof of residence. So collect all these documents, go to the Consulate General of India with $60 in cash. They won't accept payment by card, so make sure that you take cash to them. What will they do there? They will verify all the photocopies of your document. Congratulations on completing stage 1 of the 2-year waiver. What you have to do next? The next thing that you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel. So the next thing you have to do is to move on to stage 2. No, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so the next thing you have to do is to move on to stage 2. And to move on to stage 2, you have to take each of these forms to 3 different offices in India. One is MHRD, another one is state government, and third one is the passport office, the regional passport office. How do you send your document to MHRD or Ministry of Human Resource and Development? There is a link that I will paste in the description below. You have to click onto that link, create an account with the Nori division of MHRD and upload your documents there. And after 7 days or 10 days, MHRD will issue you a certificate, which is also called Nori, no objection to return to India certificate. So in order to get a Nori certificate, a clearance certificate from the state government, you have to send 1 copy of attested affidavit, you have to send 1 copy of attested biodata, 1 copy of your passport, 1 copy of your J1 document, 1 copy of your degree certificates, and 1 copy of your Aadhaar card or voter ID or your driver's license, whichever have your permanent address written in it. So all these documents will be put as one package and will be sent to the government of state via mail, or if you know somebody in India, you can ask them to post it on your behalf by providing them online copies. So what will happen after you send these documents? So the state government or the secretariat will call out for a police verification. The police will verify whether these documents are correct or not. The police will also verify your address, and finally the police will send this report back to the government of state, which will issue you a NORI or a clearance certificate that will be mailed directly to the address that you have provided to the Consulate General of India. You have to do the same thing with the passport office. Send the same documents to the passport office, and they will also call out for a police verification, and they will issue you a NORI certificate or a clearance certificate, which will be emailed to you, and also a copy will be emailed to the Consulate General of India. Guys, regarding the regional passport office, please make sure that you may or may not have to go through this verification, because some of the states in India has removed this requirement. Congratulations, you are finally in the stage 3 of 2-year J1 waiver. So in the stage 3, what you have to do, you have to click on the online DS3035 link that I have provided in the description below. After clicking this link, you will come across several sublinks. Disregard everything except the very first link that says complete an online application. When you'll click this link, you will come across very basic information that you have to provide, and along with that you have to provide a statement why are you eligible to get a J1 waiver. Clearly mention these 3 things. Number 1, that you have got clearance from all 3 departments of the government of India, which has issued you NORI certificate. Number 2, clearly mention that you have not received funding from the government of India or from the government of United States. Number 3, clearly mention that you are not a physician. And based on all these evidences, you are eligible to get J1 waiver. So after you have after you have completed DS3035, you will be generated a summary package. Let me also mention it to you that this particular phase is divided into 2 parts. Let us talk about them one by one. In part 1, you have to send your document to the J1 waiver division, which is located in St. Louis, Missouri. There is a list of documents that you have to send to Missouri J1 waiver division, and in the meanwhile you will also send your document or take your document personally to the Consulate General of India. What are these documents that you are taking to the Consulate General of India? If you remember, in stage 1 you have kept miscellaneous form, a copy of affidavit and a copy of biodata with you. Keep all these 3 copies with you. I received clearance certificate or NORI certificate from Government of India from 3 different departments. Take these certificates with you. Also take your passport with you. Also take your current address proof with you. $23 in cash with you, and also take copy of your DS2019. Whichever number of DS2019 you have till date, take all of them with you. And finally, after providing all these documents to the Consulate General of India, what will they do? They are going to issue you this certificate. This certificate says grant of waiver certificate, and there's another certificate which says simply waiver certificate. So the Consulate General of India, after receiving all the documents that I just mentioned, is going to provide you these 2 certificates. Keep them with you for your record. So what's happening now? The Consulate General of India has issued you these 2 copies of the certificates that I just mentioned, and they also send this copy to Washington DC. Now Washington DC, USCIS will send you this notification as soon as they receive the copy from Consulate General of India. Few days after you receive these certificates, you are going to receive another certificate like this. This is called Form I-797C. Form I-797C. Okay, and this document would state that USCIS has received your application. Okay, and after this you will get a final certificate which is called Notice of Action. This will come about few weeks after you have received this notice. So this one is called I-797C, and this one, the final document, is called I-797. This will state that the Department of State, based upon no objection statement from government of applicant's nationality, has recommended that you and any member of your immediate family be granted a waiver of 2-year foreign residence requirement from section 212E. Congratulations guys, you have finally got J1 waiver. You are no more obliged to go back to your home country for 2 years. You can thank me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Another important information which you would need to know is, if you are in the United States on J1 visa during your bachelor's or your master's program, and if you want to continue higher education in United States as a master's student or as a PhD, and you need an F1 visa, you do not have to take a J1 waiver immediately. And guys, if you like this video, please let me know what are the other areas of concern for you around which I can make my next YouTube video. And please guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to stay updated with this kind of relevant information which is crucial for your career. Thank you. Have a great day.